This is Allie.
And this is David.
And you're listening to
For the Culture.
I tell them take a picture, man. It'll last longer. Hit the gas on them. Hit a dance on them. Take no chance on them. Get the cash on them. Flip it fast on them. Take off the mask on them. Show the world who you are.
Hey, what's going on, people? It's David Linson coming at you again with For the Culture podcast. And today I have our newest co-host, or one of our newest co-hosts, Petra Sherbin-Fox. How you doing?
I'm very well, David. How about yourself?
I am doing simply wonderful.
Simply wonderful.
Yes,
for a Monday.
I know, right? So Petra is probably one of my new best friends out here. We met through my wife.
Right.
It was an event that you wanted her to speak, and then I met you there. I did some of the photography for it.
Yes.
Petra is probably one of the most intelligent, commanding, beautiful, funny, grounded people that I know out here, or know in general.
Thank you, David. You are pretty awesome yourself.
Thank you. I know though, but it's all right. You know
oh gosh.
But so today what we're doing, everybody, today we're just going to do an interview with Petra so you can understand who she is and who you'll be listening to for the foreseeable future.
I'm excited.
All right, so Petra, where are you from?
That's a really good question because I'm from everywhere. Okay. I'm from New York. I was born and raised in the city. I spent a lot of time in Elmont, New York, Brooklyn, New York, and then I went to high school and college in this little town called New Paltz, New York. And then I went back to Brooklyn after, my adult life. And so I'm a New York girl, but all over New York.
Brooklyn, though?
Yes, bro. Brooklyn is my heart.
What part of Brooklyn?
Flatbush.
Okay. All right.
Flatbush, Brooklyn.
I never lived in Brooklyn. I lived in Spanish Harlem, and I lived downtown Manhattan. But I never lived in Brooklyn. I had friends in Brooklyn.
Brooklyn's dope. I mean, Uptown's a little bit different, Spanish Harlem, Manhattan. Yeah. Brooklyn is pretty dope. I feel like it's like a melting pot. There's a lot of different cultures, a lot going on there. Now that I live here, and when I went back to New York, I was like, "There's too much going on. It's too much going on," because it's so busy and it's always so fast.
Yeah.
But then when I was upstate New York, it was very slow. So I was able to kind of adjust to both. But now as I get older, I kind of appreciate the.
So you're saying when you were younger, you liked to hustle and bustle?
I did. When I got out of college, I was like, I'm going back to Brooklyn. Like, I like to move. I'm always moving. I'm really fast-paced. My mind is always going. But now as I've gotten a little bit older, I'm just like, I need a little bit of quiet. I like the city. I like to be able to go to the city, but I like to go home where it's like just calm and just serene. So, yeah.
So I'm from Sherman, Texas.
Here we go.
Small country town called Sherman, Texas. Best town I think I could have ever grown up in. But when I moved to I moved to New York. I moved there on a whim. I got money in the bank. I just got a new check from my income tax. I'm like, I'm gonna jump on a plane and move to New York. I was not ready. I showed up. I had my Texas coat on. I was wearing polo boots. I got there. It was snow. I think it was 6 inches. I was not ready. The whole New York disrespected my coat.
Oh, yes, it did.
Yeah, I had to go get a snorkel.
Yes, it did. You can't come there not ready for some real serious weather, especially in the wintertime. It gets treacherous. And upstate, it's the city that, the town stops. But in the city, we just keep on going.
Right,
I don't think I ever remember school being canceled because of there being snow. We'd be trucking it. Snow up to our knees, but school's open. We got to get to school. Yeah. It was not a game.
What school did you go to?
I went to high school or
high school.
High school. I went to New Paltz High School.
New Paltz
Central High School. It's in New Paltz, New York. People know New Paltz because it was the first city in or town in New York to legalize gay marriages.
Okay. Oh, that's what's up.
Yeah, and it's also a big college town. SUNY New Paltz is there, so that's another melting pot. Everybody from Brooklyn, Queens, Long Island, the Bronx, everybody goes there for school too. And the party scene is pretty dope, even though it's one strip. It's like 6 or 7 bars, but you be really bar hopping all night long till 5, 6 o'clock in the morning.
You said the Bronx. I do not mess with people from the Bronx. Every person I met from the Bronx is crazy.
Let me tell you something. You know a Bronx person, and uptown people and downtown people don't really mesh too well. I was going to a class in the Bronx, This in July. And I was like, I cannot believe I'm going to the Bronx every single day. And it's just, I don't like the Bronx at all. And then the commute was like 2.5 hours from Brooklyn to the Bronx.
Yeah.
It's just crazy. Like, there's no reason for me to go up there. There's nothing in the Bronx that I can't get in Brooklyn besides that class.
Second you get into the Bronx, all you hear is Spanish. You're like, what's going on here?
It's like little Spaniards everywhere. And it's very, very clustered.
Right.
It's very clustered. It's just like you have no personal space. You're on the train, somebody's right on your side. And I'm just like, somebody threw up next to me once. And it was in the Bronx. And I'm just traumatized from it. And every time I get there, I'm just like, don't stand around me. I don't want anybody next to me thinking about throwing up. I have like PTSD about it. I can't deal.
So how did you grow up? Like brothers and sisters? How did you grow up?
So my mom is Jamaican, born in Jamaica, and she came to the States when she was about, I think 9. And then my dad was Russian, born and raised in Russia. He came to New York as an adult. So my parents got married. They met at work. They didn't like each other very much, and then they got married. Whatever, something along those lines. Yeah. And then there's me and my brother, who's 9 months younger than me. Mm-hmm. My parents divorced. I don't ever remember them being together, but they always had a really good friendship. But I was brought up very strict. My mom didn't play. Mm-hmm. My daddy didn't play.
Wait a minute. You said your younger brother is 9 months younger than you.
9 months.
Yo, parents were not waiting.
No, they did not wait.
We're not waiting.
We're going to do this again, like right now.
We don't care
never.
what the doctor said. We own it.
Yeah, no, I think they got pregnant. Like my mom was like, because my brother was due when I was 13 months. My brother was born 4 months early. My mom was like 5.5 months pregnant, and she had him. So he was born 1 pound 9 ounces, and he's a miracle baby for real. I love my brother, by the way. I think he's awesome. He's in the music industry now. Okay. But yeah, they were not playing. They were like, we're gonna have this baby, and we're gonna have another one real quick. And we grew up really close. My brother and I, we didn't really like each other very much growing up because he was the annoying little brother. But I've learned to appreciate the relationship now that we got older. Yeah, I got a little sister. She's 19 months younger than me, and we're just real close. Yes, but I think when we get older, we always have like this thing. Like my brother was a snitch. Like everything I did, he was like, "Well, Petra," and then my mom would be like, "Go get the belt, Andrew," and he be running, go get the belt. Why are you running to go get the belt though? Like what happened, Andrew? Like you're not supposed to be holding each other down. No, he'd be like, "I'm not taking this butt whooping for you. So if it's gonna be me or you, it's gonna be you." Mm-hmm. So yeah, he was a total snitch. Yeah. So what did you do in school? Like in high school, what did you do growing up? Like were you in any events? Did you do anything? Were you just in school and went home, did your own thing? So I moved to New Paltz when I was in 9th grade, and I was very angry that my mom pulled me out of school. I was in one school for a long time. I had all my friends, and my mom was like, "I ain't trying to have you, be around the wrong crowd." And I had a little boyfriend at the time, so she's like, "We moving," and she literally packed us up in garbage bags and moved up to New Paltz. And I was angry, and I spent the first 2 years of high school in ISS, which is in-school suspension. I was fighting. I've been there. I was doing a lot of things, but then something like at 10th grade, something dawned on me. Like I had to start making a change, I was not trying to be nothing. So I went to McDonald's, my first job. I went to, her name is Debbie, and I went to her and I was like, I got my working papers. I really need a job. And she was like, kind of like resistant at first. I was like, listen, I'll do anything. Like I will do anything. Please give me a chance. And she did. And I worked there for a long time. And then I started getting involved in my community. So I started doing things I started a dance team at my high school. I did a lot of just things with the crew, I got awarded Youth of the Year. I think that was in 2005. No, it was 2004 because my dad got sick that year. So 2004, and we did. I did what I did. I did the best I could, and as I got older, I started knowing I'm trying to make a change. I'm trying to do things different, and I knew I had to start within myself. So it was cool. I enjoyed my high school. I never cut class. I never did any of that kind of stuff. I was kind of like, bad, but not that bad because my mom was crazy. But I started as I got older. And once I graduated high school early because I got pregnant. At 17. But I graduated high school early, and I was like, I'm not going to be a statistic. I went to college right after. And yeah, I knew that I had to work hard from a very young age.
Okay. So, like you said, you had your son at 17.
Yeah.
How was that?
Okay, so let me, part of my vision and what I am is transparency. I stand for it.
Right.
So I'll be very transparent. I got pregnant with my son, and I was like very close to having an abortion.
Right.
Like at the clinic, I'm going to do this. And something was like, Petra, don't do something that doesn't feel absolutely right to you. And something told me it wasn't right. So I didn't. I had a relationship. We stuck through it. Then I found out my sperm donor is what I call him. He had other babies at the same time. And it was hard for me. It was very difficult. My mom was very disappointed. Mm-hmm. And I'll never forget her face. I never forget what she said to me. And she said to me, your life is going to be really hard. Mm-hmm. Your life is going to be very, very hard. And it's not what I wanted for you. And she was like in solitude for like 4 days. I'm like, dang, I think I killed my mom. It's like, She was like, she took it really hard. I didn't understand then, but now as, more mature, being a mom a second time around, I now understand what she meant. But it was a hard transition because I wasn't ready.
Right.
I wasn't ready. I made a lot of mistakes and I did the best I could, but I certainly wasn't ready.
You got one of the coolest sons in the world, though. I got to say that. You got one of the coolest sons in the world. He's laid back, he's chill, he's respectful, he's funny. He went viral. He went viral on the internet. He's a real cool kid. He's an athlete.
Yeah, David, I say this. I look back on the times that were most difficult for us, and I somehow was able to continue to pour into him, even when I didn't have anything to pour. And I think it was because I had such high hopes for him. And I knew I had high hopes for myself, but I wasn't able to put everything into fruition or get the ball moving. But for him, I knew that if anything else, I had to make sure he had a solid idea or just know who he is and what he stood for. Right. Even on our conversations every single day, I said, Elijah, you are greatness. And people are going to try you, and they're going to try you, and they're going to try you. And you have to always rise above that. So I appreciate you saying that he's wonderful, because sometimes he doesn't say he's not so wonderful to me. But every day I just try to do the best I can as a mother, because I have one chance at raising him. Mm-hmm. He's my investment to the world, and he has such potential, and anybody who comes in contact with him can see it. But You have to continue to channel that. So again, I appreciate it. He went viral. He has a great personality most of the time, but he's a real pain in my butt sometimes too.
He's a boy. He's right. He's a young boy.
Yeah, at 11 years old, no less. Yeah. But I enjoy it. I realize that motherhood is difficult for me, but it's something I love doing.
Right. So you're married. You have a great husband.
He's all right, David.
He's a good guy. He's a good guy.
Talk
to us about him.
Okay.
How did you meet him?
He tried to run me over with a car, David. You know the story. I used to work with him. We didn't work in the same department, but I guess he had his eyes on me, he said, for like 2 years. And then he finally had an opportunity to kind of approach me. So he was in the middle of an oil change, stops the oil change, takes the car off his lift and like tries to ramsack me in the driveway. And I'm just like, what are you doing? I'm screaming at him. We're arguing in there. And then he was like, I got her. And I was like, oh my goodness.
Yo, it sounds, we were just talking about the movie Hitch with Will Smith. And it sounds like something that he would set up. Like, all right, this is what I want you to do. I want you to almost hit her with your car, and then I just want you to just talk to her.
Slide on in and just be charming.
This was before sliding into DMs, really.
Yes,
it was definitely before.
Yeah, there was no DMs to sliding at this point, so he just slid right in front of me for real. Like, who's this? But I had already saw him, and I thought he was really cute, but he wasn't really my type.
Right.
So we started talking, and I didn't really like him. He was very honest and like brutally honest, and I was like, he's such an he's so arrogant. That was what I thought. My immediate thing, like, he's so arrogant and he's so nasty. Why? But then I sat down and I'm like, okay, Petra, you've been saying you want somebody who's honest. You want somebody who just could just allow this for you to make a decision, whether you want to deal with them or you don't. And he literally put what I was putting into the universe to the test. Mm-hmm. You said you wanted honesty. You didn't say what kind of honesty. You didn't say how you wanted it to be presented to you. It's what you asked for. Right. So you better get specific next time. But then I realized he was so genuine. And then we were just kicking it. It was just very casual for a long time. And then he asked to meet my son. And I was like, what? My son? My baby? Like, I treated him like how Michael Jackson treated Blanket. Nobody saw him, right? But he's like, I want to come with you guys. Me and Elijah had
You didn't hang him over a balcony.
I didn't hang him over a balcony. I just had his face covered all the time. Like, don't, you can't see my baby. But he wanted to hang out with us on one of our Sunday dates to the bookstore. And they hit it off. And I think that was like wow for me. Because I never let anybody in that close. And then when I did let him in so close, Elijah fell in love with him. It was like 3 or 4 months of him, like, helping me with Elijah. I was like, that's my dad. Mm-hmm. And I was like, I was not ready, David. I was like, you know what? We're going too fast. And I was like, almost going to like hit the e-brake real quick. Like, skirt, we can't go further. And I was like, why you want to call me a dad, Elijah? He was like, well, he helps me with my homework. He cooks me dinner when you're not home. He's there to take me to practice. He's at my school when I have functions. And I'm just sitting in my head like, this is my 6-year-old David. Yeah. It was like one of those moments I'm like, oh my God, he's not a baby anymore. He's like, he's checking me. He's telling me exactly like
he's telling you what it's about to be.
Yeah, he's like, you asking me a question, I'm going to tell you. And then he was like, but I don't want you guys to move forward unless you guys are going to be married.
Right.
And I guess him and Elijah had this conversation, and Jason was like, that's my goal, but you got to let us, kind of just go through it. And then he was like, he sat down and we're thinking about, is this what I want? After being hurt for so long and being single for a long time. And I was like, yeah, you're in this with me and you're honest with me and you care about my son, like, and then we just got married after a year and a half, and it's been a rocky road. We're trying to learn each other and trying to adjust. He's in the military. We spent a lot of time apart. But it's amazing. It's amazing. And it's when you see the dedication and you see every single night, like this person is rocking with you as hard as you're rocking with them. There is no better feeling. Right. So.
Okay. So y'all have a son together also.
Yes. But I call him my second chance, which is how I came up with my business name. So I think after like Elijah got like 3 or 4, I was single, and I had a relationship with somebody, and it was like a convenient relationship, and we grew together, and he was in and out of jail, and it was hard because once we broke up, I was like, I'm not going to be with anybody. I took that breakup with that boyfriend really hard, and I was like, I'm not going to get married. I'm not going to have no more kids, and I'm just going to be single, and I'm just going to have to like accept it. By the time Elijah is like 18, I'm gonna be 36? My life just began. I'm gonna be lit. And then I was like, if Elijah turns 10, I'm not gonna have any more kids. And guess who got pregnant when Elijah was 9.5? So again, the universe is telling me, you don't know, sweetheart. You don't know what you don't know. You don't know what's gonna happen.
Right.
So a second chance, it symbolizes literally a second chance at my life. Mm-hmm. Something that I did not think was going to happen. Something I did not even envision for myself because I at one point didn't feel worthy or deserving of it. Mm-hmm. And then I started working on myself, and then I put things into the universe. Like, I am worthy. I could do this. And then look how things, manifest and just evolve. And so I have Chancellor, who's like 21 months now. And he's also really awesome, but I didn't realize how many things I didn't know. I was just winging it the first time, literally just winging it. Like, okay, today's a new day, and I'm still just winging it, not for nothing. But now I know so much more. Yeah. So it's so amazing to see the differences in my parenting, obviously, my situation. Chance will never have to go through what Elijah did because my situation is totally different. But there's just so awesome children, and Elijah loves him. So that's also so dope. And unfortunately, Elijah grew up alone for so long. I hope to give Chance a closer sibling, hopefully, if it's in the cards for us. But again, I'm just enjoying this second chance.
You said a minute ago about your business, the second chance. So what is it that you actually do?
So I'm a life coach. Outside of being a life coach, I am a self-love enthusiast. So I'm like the plug for women. I'm going to connect you to who you want to be and where you want to go. Yeah. That's my goal. But and self-love, I realized that I went through a lot of my hardest, most difficult times alone. And I don't want other women to go through that. So with the transparency and just telling you're not alone. You know, there's other avenues for you to take. There's support out there. And to providing that and to being so transparent, especially when honestly the things that I speak about now, I was embarrassed and ashamed about.
Right.
I would never speak about these things, but I know I'm not alone. Being a domestic violence survivor, being a single mom, being on Section 8, being on, welfare, all of these things, and still saying, this is not going to be my life.
Yeah.
We all can do it. So I'm a life coach. I do events. I do everything that's going to get women to where they want to be.
Now, it takes a strong woman to be able to do that. It takes a strong family connection to be able to have the mother of the family do those things as well. And especially with a world we live in where we've always had this height of patriarchy, into where the man has to be doing this, the man has to be doing that. Now, I know your family makeup, but the people don't.
Right.
So with your family makeup, because Jason is in no way a kept man, he is in no way a weak man. So
No.
how do you guys make it work with business and family?
That's a really good question, David. And I think that our biggest thing is we know who each other is. Mm-hmm. So Jason knows my creative juices are always flowing, and taking this trip or accompanying him in Germany was me also walking away from a lot of what I knew.
Right.
But in also walking away from a lot of stuff, it also opened so much more opportunity for me to really focus and pursue my passions. Mm-hmm. So what I have lost is nothing in comparison to what I've gained. And as I go through I go through my thoughts, and I'm like, oh, I love to do this. I want to do this. I always discuss it with Jason, and I tell him, like, I don't obviously want to take myself away from the household. I don't want to do certain things that's going to make it difficult, but how can we find a balance? So just school was out for me, and I would have been sitting home twiddling my thumbs. And I was like, I need to be working. And before I even initiated the conversation with him, he was like, all right, school about to be out. What we going to do? Because I'm not going to be here with you miserable because you can't work. So I'm like, oh, man.
So he knows you.
He knows me.
Yeah.
So I was like, listen, what? I want to go to New York. I want to start, building my brand. I want to do my event out there. And he was like, all right, cool. When's the event? I was like, I want to do it in July. I started getting the ball rolling for it. He was like, I'll be there. You go back home, you take chance, because he can't deal with both the kids.
Right.
So I took the younger one, he kept the older one, and the house was standing. Mm-hmm. They ate at night.
Yeah.
I was the support, outside of it, but Jason did a phenomenal job, and he also didn't make me feel bad for doing it, or make me feel like less of a wife or less of a mom by putting my, my dreams and my aspirations. He supported it. And like I said, it takes a strong, even he's not weak. It takes a very strong man to be able to say, I'm going to support you no matter what, even if that means you're not going to be here for 3 months.
Right. And I think what people fail to realize that situation right there, that men sometimes have to be able to say that I'm going to stand in the background while you do you.
Yeah.
And a lot of men think that they always need to be up front. They always need to be the head piece.
Right.
I'm not saying because let me ask you this. Are you a religious person or spiritual person?
I'm more spiritual. I'm not very religious. I'm Jewish, but I grew up Jewish and Christian, because my mom's family is Christian, but she converted to marry my dad. So I was all over the place growing up. But as I get older, I'm very spiritually grounded, because I think we need a foundation, and I don't necessarily think it has to be religious, because I believe in a higher power, of course, and I'm very stuck in knowing that there's divine timing, there's the universe, there are speaking things into existence, those things, and faith. I'm very big on faith. It's crazy because I had this tattoo on my side, and I didn't realize that until a couple of days ago I looked at it, and this was when I was 21. I got it done, and it says, faith is the art of holding on to things in spite of changing circumstances. And I literally live by that. I know that there is something better. And even though I might lose something, I'm going to gain something. I know this for a fact. So I never really cry over spilled milk, because I know what's ahead. If I continue to put the positive things into the universe, I'm going to get it back.
Okay.
Yep.
What do you say is one asset that you have?
I'm resilient. I'm very resilient. I think I used to be modest about it. Like I didn't really like to talk about it because it kind of, I thought it made other people feel smaller because you're not going to tell me no.
Right.
Nobody gonna tell me no. If I need to do something, I'm gonna do it. And I'm resilient in the fact that if I have my heart set on something, I'm going to find a way to make it work.
Right. I think that's where a lot of times that you and I have connected.
Yes.
Because we're both the same way. And then we haven't had a space yet to where we've butt heads.
Yes.
And that's what's amazing about it.
I know.
Because we are both the exact same in that fact. And we both know that if you say, hey, I'm going to make it happen.
I'll make it.
I'm going to make it happen.
Right. But I also, I appreciate when I was going through my event, I was asking people, and some people were like, I can't do this for free. Like, I can't help you out for whatever reason. And I was never going to be, I would never ask somebody something that they couldn't do. But when I came to you, I was like, listen, this is my vision. This is what I'm trying to do. And you were like, all right, I'm down. Right. So I think it's also knowing that there's other people that are just trying to make it. And you could either support them, because at that point, would you have wanted somebody to support you?
Oh, yeah. See, I think where we have worked together well is that, because, we've already talked about this, that if I try to utilize your skills and your talents for something that I need, right, I'm going to pay you. Yeah. I'm going to find a way to pay you. I'm going to find a way to benefit you. Now, if we're growing together, especially with you and I, that was our payment. Our payment was growth. Our payment was able to move to the next thing. Now, if it was going to be a one-time thing, I'm going to come in and do this, that, and the third, and we didn't build that relationship, we probably wouldn't have meshed. Right. But I think since we both knew where we're trying to go, right, then I think that we were able to work well together.
Yeah, especially because, some people look at what's right in front of them. So if it doesn't immediately benefit them, they kind of get turned off by it. Where at the end of the day, especially for us, like, we're visionaries. So we see 2020, 2021. Right. What can this evolve and grow into? So I'm not so worried about what's right here, because right here, tomorrow's coming. Right. So what's right in front of me is going to change, and I'm going to continue along my path. And I know you're big on, if I'm going to grow, I want people around me to grow. Right. So that's also big. If you have people around you that are willing to, I'm taking you up with me. And and everybody has that same mindset. It doesn't matter what's happening right here, because we already up the ladder all together. Because
like you said, you were the plug for anything. I'm the plug for. I'm the guy that knows a guy. You know what I mean? That's always been me. Right, you are. And that's who I am. So anybody asks me, I need this, I know a guy. Right. I know a person. Not necessarily a guy. When I say guy, everybody.
I know
I'm
somebody.
Just saying men. I'm saying I know women. I know everybody. I know people. And that's who I've always been. I'm like Denzel Washington in that movie Two Guns. You need something, I can find a way to get you there.
But that's a fact. Yeah. That's a whole fact.
And that's what I do. So I think that with you and I know that right now it's 2018, 2040, we're gonna still be doing something. Yeah. Like and because that's the type of people we are. Yeah. We're never gonna sit down. We're never gonna stop. I already know what my vision is for who I'm gonna be. I know what your vision is for what you're gonna be. Speaking of which, what is your vision for what you want to be?
My biggest goal. On top, there's a lot of goals, but my biggest goal I want to accomplish, I want to be an international speaker. That's what I want to go around and just speak important to everybody around me.
Who are some of your inspirations that are in that role at this point?
I like Lisa Nichols. Mm-hmm. She is. I was able to relate to her on a lot of levels, and I really appreciate her story. Yeah. And then somebody who was a little bit, she's not different from me, but she's real, is April Nicole. She has a podcast. She does Therapy Thursday on Instagram. And her and I connected in one of her events, and then she sponsored my event. And me and her have hit it off. And I love her angle, and I love the way that she's just blunt and honest and just straight to the fact, but she is such a sweet soul. Right. So those two women, and I can go to April Nicole, I go to Nikki, I'm like, listen, I have a issue, or I'm going one of my sponsors, one of my speakers for my event canceled the night before. I called April Nicole immediately, like, Nikki, talking me off the ledge real quick, you know, and she's like, Petra, this is what you respond, say this, and that's it. So it's good to have those women around me also that are in certain positions and has some certain goals and have accomplished a lot of things that I look at them as inspiration, or, you know, and even women around me, like my friends, that I see things in them and I'm just like, I have that visionary, that mindset and that drive. And some people don't necessarily want that for themselves or want that as one of their goals, but I see things in people and I'm like, I know what I could do with that. Or I know what I could see something with this. So anybody around me that I keep in my inner circle inspire me in some way, shape, or form.
Nice.
Definitely.
Nice. Yeah, you have to keep your circle. Everybody, I hate when people say you gotta keep your circle tight. You gotta keep your circle small. Yo, my circle is worldwide.
Right.
And now, if somebody does something wrong to me or somebody hurts me in some way, I'll change the way that I interact with that person. But they're not out of my circle completely.
Yes.
Because I can still utilize that person in the field that they're in
some capacity. So I get having a small circle in the sense that I don't let a lot of people into my emotional, personal space. That's sacred to me, right? So there's a very slim few that I allow because their personal and emotional baggage become mine. And I have to be protective of that. So I can't have a lot of personal, emotional baggage around me.
Right.
So, but yes, if somebody does something that I know it doesn't really align with who I am and what I'm trying to do, I do have to disconnect in a sense and I have to adjust my relationship with them. Am I going to cut them off completely? No, because at the end of the day, I'm very big on the sisterhood. I'm really big on maintaining and evolving relationships in general. Yeah. So you can't cut people off because they're not necessarily aligned with what you're trying to do, but you have to adjust your relationship with them to make sure that at the end of the day, what I do and what I stand for always comes first.
See, I can respect someone who's a snake in a way because the thing is, you know how they're going to act. You know what they're going to do. And with that, I can know how that I need to interact with that person.
An open snake, though.
Yes, open snake.
You have to be.
But once you realize they're a snake, at that point it's open.
It's regardless. Open, right? I think you got to pay attention. We have to pay attention because I have friends that I was friends with since I was in grade school, and you know, a lot of times they'll say, "Oh, that's my homegirl." Like we've been friends for a long time, and you sit and kind of evaluate that relationship, and then you're just like, even though we have a lot of history and our roots are intertwined, of course, because we grew up together, that's not really my homegirl as an adult.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like she's cool and everything. I still have mad love for her over there, but as far as where I'm at and where I'm going, she's not my homegirl presently. But we have you know, we have a lot of history together. But also differentiating between the two. Everybody's not my best friend.
Right.
You know what I mean? But if a person does something wrong to me or does a snaky move, I pay attention to that and I adjust to it because, you know, first time, shame on you, but second time, shame on me.
Yeah. Okay, so for the culture today, we can talk about a lot of different things that we can't usually talk about because usually we have someone with us who's in the military.
Yes.
We have someone with us who works for the government. We have someone with us who can't say everything they want to say. With the state of the world right now, with its leadership throughout, I'm not just talking about the president. I'm not just talking about your personal leadership and whatever you're a part of. In the world as it stands today, what do you feel is our next step? Your next step, not really our next step, but your next step.
So I have a certain vision as far as what leadership looks to me, and I think a lot of it has to do with holding myself accountable. Right? I have a team, 50 people. Right? If they make a mistake, I have to own that. Right. I can't be just knocking them or rolling them under the bus and throwing them under the bus because it makes me look good. I think a lot of times nowadays, people feel like because you're a leader you're somebody in power, you're automatically a leader. That's not. Just because you're a manager or you are in a powerful position does not make you a leader. Being a leader is also understanding who you are leading. Right. Because how I lead you, David, I can't lead your wife the same way. I can't lead my friends the same way. I can't lead, my employees the same way. There's been times where I've had 50 employees under me. And I've had to figure out I can't lead everybody the same. Everybody has different whys. Everybody has different, ways of motivation. And my objective always was to figure out how can I get you to be better than me? Because I'm not scared to be replaced.
Right.
Because for me, I put you in that position. I've made you better than me. There's nothing I could do. There's nothing greater. There's no greater victory for me than to make somebody that was at one point, they were, a subordinate of mine, an employee of mine, but now you have outgrown me. And you're allowing me to continue on my growth process.
Right. One thing I do respect about you is that you don't always have to have the pilot seat. And that's a lot of things. That's the thing that I've seen, especially with I'm not trying to be sexist here, but with strong women, with feminist strong women, or in the world that we live in today, I've seen a lot of that. They have to always be in the driver's seat. Because me as who I am, I don't have a problem with a strong woman. I don't have a problem with a woman being in the driver's seat. I will take the back seat. I'll sit in the passenger seat. It was something you do. But there's things that I'm great at.
Right.
Therefore, let me lead that.
Right.
And that's something that I have been able to see from you, that you are able to sometimes take a step back and let somebody else lead, because that is another part of leadership, because you also have to allow people to grow.
Yeah, I can't bubble wrap the floor for you. Mm-hmm. And for me, I don't need recognition for something that I do from my heart. Yeah. I'm always learning. Like, I have it on my arm. I got a tattoo on Hollywood Boulevard at 2:00 in the morning. My own handwriting. It says, "I am still learning," and it reminds me always that I may think I know a lot in one particular, area, but I know there's something I don't know. Right. And I'm not afraid to have people around me to teach me that, because I'm not afraid to learn. I'm not afraid for a person to tell me, Petra, this is you. I see that, but look at this, because a different perspective is a beautiful thing. Right. There's people even out here that I support or I help them with the background of their events. I don't need to be in the forefront of your vision. I'm just here to help you. Okay, these are the things that you need to make sure that you're doing. Come over, let's talk about it, let's do it together. But this is your thing. I'm just making sure that the knowledge that I have, I'm passing along, because again, knowledge is power. And I can't be holding on to all this knowledge for what? I want to see you win. There's some people that say that and then be holding on to their pearls and clutching their pearls. No, I really want to see you win. I want to see you win because you know what? I wish that somebody had done it for me sometimes. I want to see you win because you should win. There's no reason why you can't, and you deserve it, and you're worth it. So how can I sit there and preach all that and then not tell you or not help you or stop you from being able to, if I have something that can help you?
So you feel like you're part of the culture. When I say the culture, I mean the culture. Like I don't want to say the black culture. I don't want to say, because I mean there's the hip hop culture, there's the black culture, there's just the culture that we grew up in. Like you're part of the culture.
Absolutely.
So what is, with being a part of the culture, what do you think is the highlight of your input into the culture? Does that make sense? I'm
trying to reword that.
Okay, I'll reword it, because it didn't make sense to me either when I was putting it out. But what is the most integral thing that you think that you provide to the culture that we live in?
My ability and my willingness to not be afraid to give you more, to give you all I have. I'm not afraid to give people the knowledge that they need, even if that means that I lose. Because I'm not losing, and for people that are looking at it like right in front of their face, it looks like, oh, well, she just gave this person her whole job. Looking at it like, oh, I lost something, instead of people looking at like, oh, she just released herself of an obligation and now she can go on and do other things with her life. Right. So I'm not afraid of that. And I think a lot of times, especially amongst women, we're afraid to put the other woman on in fear of her taking our place. But I can never be replaced in any place.
Have you always been this transparent?
No.
When did you take it upon your own volition to become this transparent?
When I started to love myself regardless. When I made a decision that I'm going to come first, and all the mistakes that I've made, I forgave myself.
Okay. We've been real deep for this first half hour or so of this podcast. So we're going to lighten it up a little bit. So we're just going to talk about a few different things, because you're going to be a part of the the podcast For the Culture.
For the Culture.
You will have your podcast coming out soon, everybody, so be ready for that. But for now, with the culture, we're going to start off with music.
Ooh.
What type of music do you listen to?
I like R&B and jazz. That's my thing. I love Kenny G. I think he's like awesome.
I'm a Kenny G fan. Don't get me wrong. I'm a saxophone player, but I'm
Yes.
a Kenny G fan. But you need to get on some Dave Koz. You need to get on some Kilgore. There's so many
There's
other.
probably others. Please send me something.
Yeah,
So
I'm
the
gonna send you
reason
some
why
stuff.
I really like Kenny G is because so my parents listen to him, right? And you know, I'm pretty sure he's Jewish. Pretty sure he is. And then he has his own, like, he has his own style.
Right.
And very open about that. So I could appreciate that.
Yeah.
And I used to go see him every time he was in New York. So
His son, or I think he might have two sons, but I know one son is an amazing artist.
yeah.
Yes.
He's very artsy, and he's a very nice person in person. When I saw him, I had got some VIP tickets from the Blue Note. Yeah. The Blue Note is like this big, 3 people could fit in it. But he was very nice, very personable. And again, I love his style, but I love jazz just in general. I just know him because I grew up listening to him, and he has a very distinct style. And my mom loved him, my dad loved him, and then, their culture thing. So yeah, I love.
So music is my life for so long. I'm from a musical family. My dad plays anything he picks up.
Yeah.
My younger sister plays anything she picks up. My mom is a singer, and it was just how we grew up. And so I've always been with music. So, but me growing up, I wasn't a huge hip hop or rap fan.
Okay.
It's just not what I grew up to.
Yeah.
So for me, R&B was what I listened to.
Yeah.
I remember, like, I used to go to sleep listening to certain R&B songs every night,
Yeah.
Tapes. I'm talking about tapes. And then when
Rewinding it.
Yeah. So then you keep flipping the tape, and then you finally fall asleep, and it just stops. Yeah.
Yes.
So that's how I came up. But don't get me wrong. I started listening to rap probably when I got to 8th grade, high school level. And I always say that every person has one rap album that changed their life.
Yes.
Everybody has one rap album that changed their life. It re-identified everything that they've ever dealt with. For me, it was Kanye West, College Dropout.
I love that album.
What was that album for you?
I love College Dropout, and I have to be very honest. I don't think I have an album because I don't listen to albums. I just can't. I don't have the attention span to listen to a whole thing because once I like something I don't like, I'll just turn it off and I'll probably revisit it.
Yeah.
That kind of thing. But there was. I wasn't really big on rap either. But I really liked Tupac. I really, really, really appreciated his work, and I really appreciated his creativity. He was a real artist. So
Right.
I really, that was somebody that I really took to. Biggie was cool also, but I would say Tupac was probably, I would say, my favorite rapper, or the one that opened my eyes to the
Okay,
rap
New Yorkers,
game.
don't lash out. Don't
I know,
lash out.
I'm sorry.
But so now with music, there's a lot of things going on in the music world today. We actually discussed the Nicki Minaj album,
Right?
and
Yes, we did.
I liked the Nicki Minaj album.
And I wasn't a fan.
She wasn't a fan. I didn't understand that.
I wasn't a fan. I thought, in some of the songs I like from Nicki, were, I guess, maybe not so mainstream, and I feel like her album was mainstream. So I can appreciate entertainment, but I like lyricists, and I like somebody that really has that ability. I don't think Nicki ever really had it, but she had some songs or some verses that I felt like she may have been able to go to the next level.
See, I feel totally different. I feel like she is probably a great lyricist. She's one of the better female lyricists out there.
I think she was. I don't think she really proved that to be true with this newest album. Like she had Pink, I like Still I Rise. I'm not sure if that's even That was a mixtape, but she had a few songs that I really, really enjoyed. And then off this album, I like Ganja Bars. But I thought that was more like, you know, like a reggae-ish feel. But it was a tight song.
Yeah.
It was definitely a tight song. It was a good start to her album, but I was just not impressed with the rest of the work.
Okay. So, High Society, we're going to say with Nicki Minaj, High Society has said that she's had, her number one song ever was probably Super Bass.
But so I like Super Bass, but Super Bass was one of them songs that like really start like a party type of thing. Like you ever remember Annie Up? Back in the day, that started.
Here we go.
Everybody starts getting shoved in the club.
Yeah.
Annie Up! It got crazy.
I'll tell you something. We talk about shoving in clubs, like. So tell the people how old you are.
I am 29.
She is 29 years old. So she was kind of around during crunk music, but not really. So now, Put Your Hood Up. That's when you got shoved in the club.
Oh my goodness.
Or, see, I'm from the South, so that was my song. Put Your Hood Up or Pastor Troy, Vice Versa.
Okay.
I remember that, like when Vice Versa came on. Somebody was getting punched.
Shoved, yeah.
So somebody was getting punched in the club. Like, that's just what it was.
Yeah.
Put your hood up. Somebody might get elbowed in the neck. You might not make it out. So I remember, like, my girl at the time, and that song came on, you go to the corner, I'm standing in front of you. That's what I used to do. Because that's how the club was back then.
Oh, I wasn't really a club goer anyway. But I remember Annie Up was one of those songs just like, oh my gosh, there's so much going on. But Super Bass, I like Super Bass. I thought it was pretty catchy. I definitely think it was catchy, but I also feel like sometimes there's entertainers.
Yeah.
That's their goal, and there's people that are trying to have substance with their music. And I thought sometimes that Nicki Minaj had a little bit more substance, but then I'm like, nah, she's an entertainer. So
female rappers, who would you say is, in your opinion, top female rapper of all time?
I like Foxy Brown. I like Foxy.
Okay.
And I mean, Lauryn Hill, whatever she does, she's dope at it.
Yeah.
Even though she doesn't come to concerts on time.
Right. She don't do nothing on time.
I just can't.
In my opinion, Lauryn Hill destroyed her own career.
And it's sad because, you know what? Like, the Miseducation of Lauryn Hill is probably the only album that I will listen to front to back to this day, because it still holds true. Like Zion, that song is so emotional for me.
I got so tired of Lauryn Hill's, the Miseducation of Lauryn Hill, that you can ask my little sister. I threw 3 of those orange albums, orange CDs out the window.
Nah, don't do that. It's a dope piece of work. I think it's unfortunate that her career is ruined. I don't think she owns rights to the songs anymore.
I don't even know.
I don't think she could even perform the songs in their original content anymore. And now she's on tour. And I so badly want to support her because I love the album. But then I'm like, you are not going to come to this concert 3.5 hours late, do 3 songs, and say peace out.
What gets me is people are still mad about it and still angry.
Oh, you can't get angry.
She's been doing this for years.
Yeah, you have to get her spirit aligned and all kind of stuff. You cannot be upset. I'm telling you, I posted like 3 or 4 times on Facebook, like, I really want to go, but I will not spend even $35 to lose that.
So here's a question I like to ask people, and everybody wants to ask you who your top 5 is. I don't do top 5. Who's your top 3 in any particular order of MCs? So in of all time, who's your top 3 MCs? It's a hard one though.
It is a hard one. I like Cleveland.
Do I need to go first? Do I need to go first to get time to think?
Yeah, go ahead.
All right, so my top MCs, in my personal opinion, everybody, so don't go jump on me. In my personal opinion, in no particular order, Andre 3000.
He's dope.
Jay-Z. Don't wave off Jay-Z.
I like him.
Don't wave off Jay-Z. Andre 3000, Jay-Z, and Scarface.
Oh, Scarface.
Yes. In my opinion, those are my top 3. No particular order, but I do think, lyricism, I think Andre 3000 is the best lyricist in that game?
I like Andre 3000. I'd agree with that. He's definitely super dope. I'm trying to think. You know what I really used to like? I'm not sure how he is right now though.
Who?
Papoose.
Okay. I like Papoose.
I like Papoose a lot. I think he has a lot of talent.
I like Remy Ma better, but okay.
I like Remy.
Yeah.
I'm a Remy fan.
Yeah.
I love Remy. I think she is so talented. But again, like, she's a lyricist, so she's it's totally different from the Cardi B's and the Nicki Minaj. You know,
right.
She's not. You can't really put them in the same. But Papoose is dope. And who else can I think of? I like Eminem. I like him. Mm-hmm. Can't think of another one. I'm gonna stick with. Yeah, I don't know about another one. Andre 3000.
Any new rappers that are coming out right now that you really think that are really doing some things?
I honestly don't know many of the new rappers outside of like, you know, the stuff that my son listens to. Because I like to censor what he's hearing, but I'm not really impressed. I think that, and it's also unfortunate because these new rappers have such a huge platform. These kids are looking at them and liking them, and they're not. I don't feel like they're really holding up the end of the bargain.
especially like I'm not a fan of mumble rap. Yeah. I'm not a fan of the Futures and that style of music either. It's like I need to have lyricism. For female rappers, I really like Kiane.
Okay.
I think she's on Love and Hip Hop New York right now. Yeah. But before that, I remember seeing her on Instagram and YouTube and Vine even. Yeah. And I thought she was always a dope artist. And she's from the Bronx. I told you, they're crazy.
They are crazy. No, she's crazy.
But I really respect everything she's doing. I like what she's doing. I like how the steps that she's taking. Yeah.
I didn't even think about her. I remember her on Love and Hip Hop, and I did think she was pretty talented. There are some people, you know, the thing is that I also feel like the world like kind of lacks the substance. Mm-hmm. So because when you're talking about something that has a lot of substance, a lot of people don't gravitate towards that because it's just not as popular right now. Yeah. It's just not like, oh, we're looking for substance and something that's going to mentally stimulate us right now. Where some of us are looking for that because we kind of need that to thrive, like, you know, like you and I. But some people are just like, I'm looking for like just the party music or something that's just going to start, you know, get something started. I personally just don't get but it doesn't like mentally like kind of engage me. It doesn't really hold my attention for very long. Right. If that makes sense.
Also like Futuristic and Devin Terrell.
Don't know who they are.
I'm going to let you listen to them after we get done here today. And I think you're going to have a new group that you really kind of like. They did an album together. I think it was called Coast to Coast. It was really good. But I like both of them.
I like Chance the Rapper. I think he's pretty dope.
Yeah, Chance is dope.
My husband listens to, is it Journey? It starts with a J.
I have no idea.
He starts with a J, and his music is pretty good. And there's a guy, Free Black.
Yeah.
He's actually pretty good too. His story is very interesting. Jason loves hip hop. So he likes to do all of the like hip hop knowledge, and he's like on Rap Geniuses trying to figure out what things mean. And I'm just over here like, Free Black is cool. Mac Miller was really good too.
He was good. He was good.
May he rest in peace. Yeah, definitely.
I'm telling you, white rappers right now are just in this place that because Eminem and Machine Gun Kelly right now. What do you think about that situation?
I like Eminem, right? Mm-hmm. So I listened to both of the discs. I listened to MGK's first.
Rap Devil.
And I was impressed with it. I think he has some interesting lines in there. I've never heard his work prior to this, right? And then I see Eminem's Kill Shot. Mm-hmm. And he has some good lines in there too. Do I think it was his best work though? I'm not so sure.
Who's Eminem?
Yeah.
No, it wasn't because at the same time, I don't think it was because MGK, you're not on M's level.
Right.
And don't forget how fast he came back out with it.
Right.
So now let's go back a little bit to the Drake and
oh my God, Meek Mill, right?
No, not even the Meek Mill. We're not even talking about the Meek Mill. We're gonna talk about the Pusha T.
Oh yes,
Drake
okay.
and Pusha T. I think that Drake had the song early and wrote to it.
Yeah.
And then he put out his disc. Because they came out so fast.
So fast, yeah.
But I think M literally heard Rap Devil, went to the studio, started writing, and came back out 2 days later with a new track.
Because it was pretty fast, didn't he?
Yeah.
He was on an interview with Sway, and they were uncertain whether he was going to respond, and he responded like 2 days later.
Yeah, I think that if Eminem really wanted to put the energy into it, there's not an MC alive right now that I'm not gonna say that. There's not a I will say this. There's not an MC alive right now that would not have problems with a battle against Eminem. You got to think he came up as a battle rapper,
right? Exactly.
And then from there, he always written his own stuff.
Yeah. And
he freestyles too. So if all you do is got the pen, you might not be able to hold up to that.
Yeah, but he's also one of those he's lyrically strong. So
yes.
So we have this young guy who's just started in the game, and then you're trying to attack this guy who's like a veteran. He's like, all right, I'm gonna take it easy on you. That's why I felt. I feel like he just was like, I'm just gonna respond just for the sake of responding, and I'm gonna put a few dope lines in there. I'd rather be 80-year-old me than 20-year-old you, like one of those lines, and he was just gonna rock with it. I'm interested to. Well, I know that MGK responded and said that he missed the target or something.
I mean, that's what you would do. I mean, if somebody came at you, that's what you're gonna do. You're gonna try to sway people to your side.
Right. So he's like, I don't know, like a deflective tactic. Like, let's not. It's all right. He missed the target.
Because you got to think, if Eminem really put the time and money and effort into really destroying him, this guy, it would happen.
But I feel like he said that. He's like, am I going to put the effort in destroying your career? Because I could also, at the same time, kind of make you bigger. Right.
And that's the thing. So I think he said something like, if podcasters, all the people on YouTube and everybody out in the world critiques Eminem, they can become famous. Right. But if Eminem critiques them, he's bullying.
Right.
That's
crazy. The double standard, it's not even double standard. Like is it because of the influence? Like why would he be considered bullying?
Because he is at that level.
Because he's like the veteran.
But we're able to, I say we, it's because we're in the entertainment journalism space.
Right.
We are able to talk about this man and his family and everything going on with him all day long. But then the second that he wants to rebuttal or fight back, then he's the bad guy. That makes no sense to me.
Eminem can't win.
Eminem, if you got something to say to me, say it to me.
Right.
I'm not going to have a problem with it, because if I'm saying everything I'm saying to you, Machine Gun Kelly, same thing.
Right.
If everything going on in the world and I say something about you and you don't like it, say something back, because I'm a grown man, period, first and foremost. So, and I don't care what the rest of the world is saying. I'm talking my opinion.
Right.
I'm not attacking you just to attack you.
Right.
I do think Eminem's Kill Shot was better than Rap Devil, because we don't know how long MGK had time to write Rap Devil.
Apparently he was in Kamikaze. He kind of took a shot at him in his album.
Because Machine Gun Kelly had 2 years ago, Machine Gun Kelly was saying some things about Eminem's daughter.
It's a bad. That's off limits for him.
And Eminem said nothing for 2 years, so Eminem didn't even care about what you were doing. Then one day he said on the Sway interview, he said that he went down the rabbit hole of YouTube that we always do.
Yeah.
And I don't know about you, but every time I do it, I end up in the Illuminati stuff. Right. Every time I go down the rabbit hole, I end up in somebody's in the Illuminati. But he went down the rabbit hole and found out that Machine Gun Kelly had said something about his daughter. Now, I don't have a daughter, but if anybody was to say something about my daughter, I'm going to have to check that person. I'm going to have to respond to that person. I'm going to not really want to be a part of what that person has going on.
But historically, didn't Benzino do the same thing, and he kind of ripped him to shreds? Eminem has historically said, this is off limits, guys, or I'm going to rip your head off. So why would you go do something that you know is going to potentially get your head ripped off? Right? You know what I'm saying?
Even The Game said in the interview that even when him and 50 was going at it, and him and Dre weren't seeing eye to eye, that he never went after the white
Right.
boy.
Yeah.
Because they know who Eminem is.
Yeah.
If Eminem wants to sit down and really destroy somebody, he will.
Yeah.
Now, it's a different beast when it comes to Machine Gun Kelly because essentially they are the same person a few decades apart.
Right. Yeah.
Because the same fans that Eminem, if Eminem came out right now, this day and age, he would have the exact same fans that Machine Gun Kelly has.
So they're kind of like what... I mean, they can't really be competition so many decades apart.
Right.
And, like, MJ, you're not taking away from each other at this point.
Right.
And then the whole bully thing, everybody, the term bully is just used so loosely these days.
It is.
Everybody's a bully. You say something that hurts your feelings, you're bullying me. No.
Everybody's not your friend.
Right. Okay. You need to learn that from young. Don't talk to people that don't like you, or don't try to push people to be your friends if they don't want to be your friend.
Now, I'm going to get some hate for this, but I'm going to go ahead and say it. I think that right now that a lot of people, I think that we like you said, we're using the word bully too loosely because you have to have altercation growing up. You have to have people who don't like you, who will talk about you, who will... It builds resilience.
It really does, and it's funny that you say that because this is one of the lessons I'm trying to teach my son. If a person doesn't want to be your friend, it's okay.
Yeah.
Right? And you have to understand and respect people's space and respect what people say. If they don't want to be your friend, they don't want to be your friend. That's not bullying you.
Right.
That's just them telling you that I'm not for you, or for him that you know that one of your friends is not looking out for your best interest. Don't continue to try to feel that friendship.
Right.
It's hard when you're telling kids this because they want to be friends with everybody. They want to be liked and all this kind of things. But I feel like if we teach them now the idea or knowing how to resolve conflict, like really resolve conflict, and know like, okay, if a person doesn't like me, we could still, I understand that you don't like me, I don't like you, we could still be respectful to each other. Mm-hmm. Imagine what we could accomplish.
But now we want to tell kids that everybody should be your friend.
Yes.
Everybody should be the best person to you. No. They're not. It's like the world isn't going to be that.
It's not.
When you leave school and you get out into the world, that's not what it's going to be. You're gonna get beat down every day. And if you don't know how to stand up, you didn't learn how to stand up when you were in 7th grade, 8th grade, 9th grade, then you're not going to be able to survive when you get to 25 to 35 to 45. It's not going to work.
You'll be absolutely lost. And like Elijah's like, he's like, I feel like my teacher's treating me unfairly. Get used to it.
Yeah.
Get used to it.
Everything's not fair.
I'm not saying that it's right. I'm saying that this particular feeling that you feel, you're going to feel 10, 11, 12 times over and over and over. And at this point, it's either you're going to allow the feeling of being treated unfairly to break you down, or you're going to learn how to just say whatever. Because it is whatever at this point, because who really cares?
Talking about saying what people got to say, Joe Budden.
Joe
Budden went in on Eminem also. He said, I don't remember what album, he said it was the worst album he ever heard.
You know what? I think Joe Budden is pretty intelligent. And I
agree with that.
I really feel he's very intelligent. And I think just even saying something, there's some kind of reasoning behind it. Mm-hmm. Is he trying to get a rise out of Eminem? Are you trying to come out of retirement? What's your angle?
Retirement? He should. No.
He said he retired.
Is one song?
Okay. No, he has a few good songs.
How many?
I have a few albums of Joe Budden. Let me look at my phone.
Tell me, what's Joe Budden's top 5?
I have a few of his songs, and I don't know the names of it off the top of my head.
That's what I thought.
No, because I don't remember, but I like some of his songs.
Name two off the top of your head. 2 Joe Budden songs you can think of.
I can't, but I'm going to tell you right now because I'm going to find it. I'm going to find it because I know the song once I hear it. I think it was a mixtape that he had. Pump It Up wasn't a good song.
Pump It Up. That was his only song. Pump It Up. Because it was in the movie. What movie was that with Omarion where he was dancing in Marcus Houston? With Lil Saint.
Oh my goodness! Was it Step?
It wasn't Step Up. It was. I don't remember what the name of the movie was, but it was in that, and that's what people remember. Pump It Up. No matter how many albums he's had, I can't think off the top of my head.
Oh, Alive. That was a good song. Alive is a good song by him. And Different Love. What album is this? Oops, sorry.
Yeah, there it is. Pump It Up.
No, I'm not trying to hit Pump It Up. What is it? It's I don't know what album it is, but
According to
This For Love is another
Spotify,
one.
his top 5 albums.
Oh, Only Human is good.
His top 5 songs, according to Spotify, or his most popular songs, let me say that.
Okay.
Are 1, Pump It Up.
Okay.
Then Fire, which I don't even recognize
that.
right now, but it was on the same album as Pump It Up.
Okay.
Uncle Joe.
Uncle Joe.
She Don't Put It Down.
What is this?
And Broke. Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. But not saying that Joe Budden hasn't been a staple in the hip hop community his whole life. Because he has.
Yeah, he definitely has.
He has.
And he's taking like a different route now. I guess he's retired from the game and now he's doing more hip. He loves hip hop. So I appreciate his.
He's a hip hop connoisseur.
Yeah, he is a connoisseur for sure.
And people listen to Joe.
Yeah.
But I think that everything that he was saying about Eminem was just him being petty.
I think he was just. I think he's just trying to provoke him. I feel like there's some kind of underlying. He has a plan. There's a plan. There's something that that's brewing.
But see, there's consequences to that.
Absolutely.
So you gotta look at the consequences of things that you do.
Right.
Don't forget, we have lost rappers. We have lost artists. We have lost people by the consequences of the things that they've done
and have said openly.
Yeah.
So and then it's kind of weird because they have such a long history. So that's another thing. Like you're kind of like continuing to come into the same like this little playing field that you guys have constantly had. This like. I don't know if it's semi-beef or like this silent beef. Something goes on with you guys,
right.
And then now Eminem has something going on. Now you want to kind of chime in and you want to kind of put your 2 cents in. I mean, although he does kind of put his 2 cents in with everything hip-hop related.
There's going to be people in this world who are going to come after you about the things that you say. Look at your Tekashi 6ix9ine.
Yeah, well,
Chicago was gunning for him.
Yeah.
And then there's people all over the world. Then you had your Triple X Tentaciones. We don't really know what happened with that situation,
right.
But at the same, it could have been some of the things he did, some of the things he said.
Because you say
trolling
things.
When you're trolling somebody.
Yeah.
And again, with the world we live in today, where we have lost the ability to deal with confrontation, when you're trolling somebody, you do not know how they're going to act.
Yes, it's true. And the thing is that now it's like, I remember growing up, there was like fear. Like you had this sense of fear of certain things. Like, your mama gives you that look.
Yeah.
In the store, like, you better not act up in this store. And we had fear. I don't think some of these kids don't have no fear.
Nah, they don't.
I see some kids telling mama, shut up. I'm like, I beg your pardon?
I wish.
I'm telling you.
I don't have any children, y'all, but I wish that my imaginary children at this point would ever tell me to shut up.
It's hard because when you don't have kids, I remember saying, oh, my child would never do this or would never do that. But there's some things that I know, no matter what, there's these like the foundations that we lie just within our households of just respectable behaviors. And again, like there's this underlying no fear, no idea on how to resolve conflict.
Right.
And then we have some women and men who are hurt, so they hurt other people, and that hurt continues. And you have hurt children, and those children are hurt, and they go around hurting people. Like it's like a cycle, like a crazy cycle.
Speaking of consequences, Cat Williams recently was on a radio show in Atlanta where he engaged in a roasting session.
I just want to put this out here.
Go ahead.
I think that Cat Williams is the best stand-up comedian. Ever?
No, I don't give him ever.
No, not ever. But I per my time, right? Like right now, like excluding like Sinbad and like the legends, I would say, or Kings of Comedy. Legend? I mean, he's older.
I mean, you a legend. You old.
I think
in my mind, your legends are your Eddie Murphys, your Richard Pryors, your Red Foxes.
You know who was really funny too? Eddie Griffith.
Yeah, Eddie Griffith was really funny.
Yeah, he's really funny.
Really animated, really funny, but I still don't put him in legend status.
No, I wouldn't go that far either, but he's very funny. I saw him also. But I think Cat Williams is, I think like Sinbad, he is like not, I don't think he swears in any of his skits.
I don't remember completely.
Yeah, I don't think he does.
Even if he did, but he was funny. I still remember his stand-up special where he had that cross-colored jumpsuit on. And the scene I remember when he was running away from his mom, she said she hit him one time with the belt and his butt fell off. Then she had the elastic arm. Don't you run! I remember that. And that was probably one of the funniest stand-ups when I was younger because I could watch it.
Yeah.
Now my mom and dad, they were a little strict. I wasn't able to sit down and listen to Richard Pryor albums.
Oh yeah.
I did. Now my dad would sneak me a couple.
Right.
I used to listen to
wasn't allowed.
listen to Tootlem and stuff, but and some Eddie Murphy. But Sinbad was something we could sit down and listen to.
Yeah, it was a more family thing.
Right.
Jamie Foxx is pretty funny.
Jamie Foxx is funny.
Martin is funny too.
Martin is hilarious.
Martin is.
These are legends.
Yeah.
Now, Cat Williams is hilarious. He's amazing. I think that his life gets in the way of his comedy.
So I saw him a lot of times, like maybe 4 or 5 times. So every time I go there, I'm never disappointed. That's like me and my husband saying we love going to stand-up comedy.
Mm-hmm.
Like we love that. And I remember like one of the middle times he was doing that in and out of the jail stint. He had hit that 7th grader or whatever, and I was just thinking in my head, he better not be in jail the day that he's supposed to be at this show, you know. But he does a lot of his personal life does get gets in the way and kind of clouds whatever he got going on, and then he goes onto the set and starts talking about it.
Yeah,
and he has an interesting way of thinking.
Yeah.
He definitely has an interesting way of thinking. But I'm a total fan. And out of all the stand-up comedies I went to in the last 5-6 years, he has been hands down the funniest.
And I can give you that. That is something that I could definitely say. Now, some of my favorite comedians are Chris Rock.
Yeah.
I really like Chris Rock. I like Dave Chappelle.
Dave Chappelle is funny.
I like Chris Rock because Chris Rock is probably... He's one. You just want to spend a day with Chris Rock, and it'd just be an hilarious day. Yeah. And I think that's something about certain comedians that they tell a story, and the story and the way they visualize it is hilarious.
Yeah.
I used to like Kevin Hart in the beginning. I used to like Kevin Hart in the beginning, but see, like I said on this same podcast before, you get Kevin Hart syndrome, and I think I'm starting to get that with Tiffany Haddish as well. You just see them so much in the same type of character that you get tired of it.
Kevin Hart I wasn't really a fan of him. I went to his stand-up and Jason fell asleep and that just pissed me off. And then I was not really laughing. But I read his book. And his book shows, he also, he was a voiceover. So you can hear all the emotion and things. Yeah. So his story is very interesting. And I think it kind of opened me back up. But when I go to see him,
I probably wouldn't. Yeah, I'm not paying for that ticket first and foremost. I'll watch it when it comes out.
$500 for tickets, and I think it was either Madison Square Garden or the Barclays, and homeboy was asleep. Yeah, I was like, nah, never again. Tiffany Haddish, I think, is funny.
What's your favorite Tiffany Haddish joke right now?
I ain't got no Tiffany Haddish.
You don't know. You can't tell one of her sisters.
Let me say it, David. I think she's funny. I think her personality is spunky. Yeah. So a lot of people are not going to be like loud and obnoxious and just be kind of cool about it, right? Yeah. So she has that very contagious personality. Yes. So it's easy to like. So I think she's hysterical. I don't think so.
She's the funny friend.
Yeah, she's
the funny one in the crew.
Yeah, she's the funny. When we saw a girls trip and we all had I know who this is and I know who that is. We all have a Tiffany Haddish in our crew. Yeah, we all have that funky, funny, saying whatever she want to say type of thing. Does that make you a comedian? I mean, and if that's be the case, every crew we all got a comedian in our crew, real live. Let's do this. I saw her on I think it was Kevin Hart's stand-up thing, and it was okay. Yeah. Again, I like to see people win. So of course I'm happy for her.
Oh, absolutely.
You know what I mean? But then you do get that Kevin Hart syndrome, and you're just I see her all the time. She's doing the same thing.
You're starting to get tired of it.
It's okay, well, we would. I don't know if we know, but I would like to think that you're very talented. Can you use that talent in a different kind of way? Right. Because just because being an actress, I can assume is very, very difficult in some senses. You got to kind of be different people and stuff. Can you kind of can you push yourself to another level?
What I haven't said in a while on this podcast, which I'm going to come back to right now, I used to say it every single podcast. Monique is not funny.
I heard it.
I think that was even the title of our first podcast.
It was.
Monique is not funny. And I've never been a fan of Monique in anything she's ever done. I didn't even like her in The Parkers. Like, Brandy's show, what was it called?
Moesha.
Moesha was my show.
Oh, my goodness.
But when it went over to The Parkers, yeah, y'all can keep this.
The Parkers wasn't one of my, like, you had like your after school or like, your afternoon rundown. I wasn't a fan
Y'all wasn't even
of
in my afternoon rundown.
Yeah,
yo.
I wasn't
Like, I used to
into
come
that.
home from school, Mickey Mouse Club. After Mickey Mouse, yes. This
At
when I
what
was young.
age?
This when I was young.
Oh, I was
yo.
saying, you wasn't like
Mickey
11,
Mouse
12?
Club. Then after Mickey Mouse Club, it was Kids Incorporated. After Kids Incorporated, it was Power Rangers, then VR Troopers. That was my setup after school, and that's what I used to watch. And I'm 34 years old, and people who are 34 years old might remember that setup.
I remember Power Rangers, but it might have been a different Power Rangers than what you were watching.
I was the original. I was with the original Power Rangers, with the Black Ranger with Zach. You know what I mean?
I was
And
never
the Green
big
Ranger, who became the White Ranger. Yeah.
I can't. I was never big on TV.
Yeah.
Ever since I was a child, I don't know. It just wasn't really. I kind of had like a show here and there, but I never really had like a whole lineup. Like, I liked the Fresh Prince of Bel-Air. I think a lot of people like that growing up.
Yeah.
Different World,
Martin.
Living Single, Different Strokes, Three's Company, Nick at Night. That was kind of my thing.
Nick at Night. Lucy.
Yes.
I Love Lucy was my show.
Listen, hilarious.
Yes.
Hilarious.
I still go back right now and watch the Vitamin the Vegetable episode.
Yeah, let me tell you something. There was episode with when oh my goodness, it was her. Was it? I think the lady's name is Ethel.
Ethel.
And I don't know if they were cooking something, but everything like blew up. And I remember her face, and I was like, and I think at that moment I was like, I think she's hysterical. Just based on her face
Lucille Ball
expression.
is probably one of the funniest people.
Just off of her face expression. And that's like even the Golden Girls.
Oh yeah.
Sophia, little old lady, just hysterical, like just literally living her life. You know what I'm saying? I love the Golden Girls too. So I like those kind of shows, and even now I'm like, my kids.
Yeah, there's not a lot of shows
the
right
kids
now
shows
that I can jump on. It's because the shows that I like now aren't things that I would let sit down and watch with children.
Yeah.
Maybe Blackish. Blackish is a
Blackish
good show.
is good, yeah.
Grownish, it's not. I'm too old for that. You know,
Right.
That's not my life. That's not even how I was when I was in college. That's not my life.
Right.
That wasn't my life in college.
Yeah.
There's so many different things that kids deal with today that I didn't have to deal with then.
Right.
And that's not even that long ago.
It's just crazy how much has changed in such a short period of time.
My life was more like a different world than it is like Grownish. It's crazy.
Yeah.
And so I think that there's so many. See, I love TV. I love TV and I love movies and my wife hates watching TV with me. She hates watching movies with me because for me, I like to break down movies. I'm talking about symbolism. I like the fact that somebody's wearing a red shirt when they're angry, or that when they walk into the house, the way it's set up. I look at all of that every time I watch a movie or a TV show.
You're analyzing everything.
Yes.
Yeah.
My wife watches it for entertainment purposes.
Right.
If I'm watching a series, I have to see every episode. My wife could pop in on episode 5, season 2,
be chilling,
then come back at episode 6, season 3, and then still be cool with it. I can't do that.
Yeah, I like some TV shows, like you said, but a lot of them are not family friendly, so then that also makes it difficult for me to be able to watch it.
What's the last show you really say that you're watching, or the last show you've watched, or you're watching now?
So we got into Power. Yeah, but then again, that's one of those things that after kids are asleep, we watch it because it's something I want to watch with my son. And then we watch Bubble Guppies in my house. Bubble Guppies is not a show. It's cartoons. The lodge is over it. But that's like the only two things. And then there's a few documentaries on stars, like football stuff and like being black in America. We kind of got onto those. There was The Good Doctor. It was an autistic doctor.
Yeah.
That was a pretty good show. But I have to like do one show at a time almost because I can't
do that.
I can't get too wrapped up with too many different things because then I just get confused and I get frustrated with that.
So I work a lot in front of a computer. Either I'm editing a podcast, or I'm editing video, or I'm editing photos, or I'm setting something up. So if you ever see my setup, I have 3 screens, and one screen will have a TV show on or a movie. Then I have my work screen in the middle, and then I'll have my references on the right. And that's how I work. And for me, like recently, it's been Queen of the South.
I heard that was good.
Amazing show. Now, my wife watched it with me, but the episode that she turned on with me was like the most demonic episode of it. It's like there's only one of those, and that one episode is the one she watched with me.
She's like,
I'm
never
done.
again.
I'm
Yep.
never watching this again. And so Queen of the South, and I like a lot of your superhero shows like on the CW, so your Flashes and your Green Arrows, Supergirl, Black Lightning, and things like that.
Yeah, you like a lot of action.
I do. I like action, but I also like a good story. So I also like your Grey's Anatomies.
Grey's Anatomy is good.
I even like Scandal. There's only one season for me, one season of Scandal that I really couldn't rock with, and it wasn't that it couldn't rock. It was boring.
It got right. That's what, and I like Scandal a lot too. I liked seeing Olivia Pope. I like that that strong woman, and I don't think we saw much of that prior to her. And then it got kind of boring for me.
My favorite thing about Scandal, and it wasn't even Olivia Pope. It wasn't specifically Olivia Pope or any of the characters. It was the speeches that were given in every episode. Everyone had a speech. Everyone had a character, and depending on their character, that's how they built their speech. And I think that was the most amazing thing to me, that they would just start talking and just go. But it would just flow.
Well, yeah.
Like Columbus Short, when he was on the show, I think he was probably one of my favorite characters. And him and Papa Pope.
Yep.
Because the way they gave their speeches. Papa Pope was supreme being in the whole thing. And then Columbus Short's character was just so laid back, but he was aggressive. And I think that's my favorite parts of the show.
Yeah, I liked Papa Pope, even though he was like kind of strange or he had a lot of things going on. The dynamics were interesting also to watch, like the different dynamics and how things worked. And I like to kind of dissect things too, probably not as deeply as you do, or maybe in a different fashion. But I like to see dynamics. That's like a big thing for me. I like to see how people interact by languages. I like to see what they say to each other, how they say it. I'm kind of big on that. But Scandal, like I said, I liked the show. I liked it until it got boring.
Right.
And
It came back, and then the show's over now.
Yeah.
It ended well. I think it ended really well. I think it ended the only way that it could.
Right. Yeah.
And I liked the ending on it. My favorite part of I don't know, spoilers, everybody. If you haven't seen the end by now, then tough. My favorite part, if you've seen the end, correct?
I have not.
Oh, then I don't want to give you the
Go ahead, don't say it, 'cause
my favorite part is the fact that the way it ended was with Papa Pope saying that, yes, I'm the one who did all these things. And you can arrest me, you can put me in front of the world, but I'm going to tell them that I, a black man, is the reason why the world is standing the way it is. And he didn't go to jail because the world didn't want them to know that a black man is the one who ran the world.
Imagine the lengths that people are willing to take just so a person won't get credit.
Right.
That's pretty deep. I'm gonna have to look at that.
Yeah, watch the last few episodes. It's
I will.
really, really good. Well, so we're cutting short on time, so we're going to go ahead and ask you a few more questions, and we're going to go ahead and get out of here for today.
Alrighty.
So what is it that you have coming up for you in the future, in the near future?
Personally or professionally?
Either way.
So personally, I just continue to try to make myself the best I can. So every single day for me, it's trying to attain my goals. I did my vision board yesterday, so I'm ready to attack a lot of my new goals. I accomplished so much of my last board, and it was so great to see. I'm like, oh, I actually accomplished all of these things, so I'm ready for that. You didn't just
create a vision board. You had a vision board event.
Yes, I had a whole event. I had women come together. We were talking. We spoke about our boards. We spoke about the areas in which we want to grow in and what we see for ourselves and for our families. And I love putting those especially the vision board party events together, because a lot of women don't realize, because there was like a woman that, what was it, 1 or 2, didn't even know what a vision board was.
Right.
She had no idea what it was supposed to do. How do we do this? And we kind of worked through it. And she sent me a picture this morning of it on her vanity. Like, I'm gonna see this every single day. So and then I like to do accountability check-ins. So like, where you at with your goals? What are you doing? And people don't like to say, well, I ain't accomplished nothing. Yeah. So they usually do accomplish 1 or 2 things, or try to. That's personally, and professionally, I'm going to open opened up my books to taking in 2 more coaching clients. I think I'm at a good place to be able to do that now. And I have events, we're co-hosting an event at the end of the month.
Right.
I have a woman's soul food retreat, which is going to be focusing on just kind of rejuvenating the mind, body, spirit, and soul. Yeah. Getting women to a really great place. And then I actually just rolled out, we're going to do a weekend retreat in Brussels. Same idea, but we have a lot of add-ins on that. So I'm just going to continue expanding and seeing what other women want to see also.
Right.
Because the idea for me is also to create that safe space for women to just feel encouraged and inspired and motivated.
Yeah. Okay. Nice. So where can people find you?
All right. Well, I am on Facebook, Petra Sherbin-Fox. That's my personal page, and my business page is A Second Chance. Instagram, I am M.E.C.C.A. Sherbin-Fox. And my personal is A Second Chance 3_. I have a Twitter. I'm not very active on it. That's part of my goal, is trying to get a little more active on social media. And my Twitter name is at A Second Chance.
Awesome. So everybody, you can find us at For the Culture on all your different media sites. You can listen to us on Spotify, on iTunes, or anywhere else you find your podcast. You can locate me on Instagram under Mr._D Linson, or at D_Linson_photography. We got a lot of things going on, everybody. So just be in tune with what we're doing. Absolutely. We'll have more things popping up soon. You're going to hear more from Petra. You're going to hear more from me. We also have another co-host that I'll be interviewing next week, which is Theda. She's about to be in this game strong too, with her podcast and everything she got going on. She's a powerful, strong, amazing woman also. So just rock with us, everybody, because we got it going. We are rolling right now. We have so many opportunities and events and things happening for you, as well as for you to meet us and grow with us. So, hey, this is For the Culture. We want to thank you.
Yes, thank you guys so much for your time. David, thank you for your time as always. It's always a pleasure, and I am looking forward to all the beautiful things that are going to come from this.
Awesome. Thank you, everybody, and have a great.
I
don't know, so I would say day, night, whatever. But whenever you listening to this podcast, if it's in your car, if it's while you're listening to it at home, if you lock yourself in the bathroom because the kids are getting on your nerves.
Yes.
Whenever you're listening to this podcast, just have a great
time.
rest time after that.
Yes.
I love y'all and have a good evening.
Peace out.
Take a picture, man. It'll last longer. Hit the gas on them. Hit a dance on them. Take no chance on them. Get the cash on them. Flip it fast on them. Take off the mask.